Hi YouTubers, what we're going to do today is we're going to take the Silhouette Curio and we're going to etch in these plastic folders. I made a series of little doodly subject designs and then I've been etching them on these folders, kind of for like a back to school idea. It's pretty easy to do once you get the hang of it, and there are a couple of things to take into consideration, patterns and fills and things like that, and how poofy your folders are. But it's fairly easy to do once you get the hang of it, and let me go show you the supplies you're going to need and some of the things to take into consideration. Alright, so these are folders from Office Depot. They're 35 cents a piece right now. Originally when I started doing these, I was using the Chromos Precision tip, and it was doing really well. And then I ended up having to go back to the store to get more folders to play with. And what I ended up doing, unbeknownst to me, was getting folders that were a little bit fatter than the original ones I started with. My guess, have been like stuffed in a box for a long time and were really flat. And then these guys are a little bit puffier, for lack of a better word. And so it started just tearing up my folders. So if you have a really flat folder, this is probably the one you really want. If you want to use this one, you're going to need to make sure you have a speed of 1 and a force of 1. If not, it will tear up your folders. So what I ended up doing was switching from this guy to the original Chromos etching tool. And as you can see, this is from the orange gem one I just did. It does make a bit of a mess, so keep that in mind when you're using your mats and things like that, that it's going to kick up some dust. So don't put it next to anything that, you know, doesn't need to be dusty. And so I started using this one. This one you can increase the speed and increase the force so that you're doing these a little bit faster. And so this guy is the hatch fill. And what the hatch fill is it goes up and then it goes across. So basically it's doing it twice. And as you can tell, it has it's more color. And then this is the circular fill, so it makes circles. And it's a much lighter fill color. It's also quicker. This one takes longer because it's doing everything twice. This one's much quicker, and this one's much smoother as well, but it's not as heavy. And I think this one I did twice maybe. You can also do that and do them twice if you want to. And then I found that the regular like green and blue and orange did really well. This black is really hard to see. And even when I really increased the force, this one's still really hard to see. And this yellow, I don't even know if you can see it. There's a music note right here. You can't see anything on. So stick to like green and blue, red, yellow, or stay away from yellow. And then you can color them. So this is one of the ones I colored with the alcohol markers, and it's done pretty well. You can also use a wider hatch fill. This is the hatch on an angle. See how it's done both ways. And that gives a different look too. This one's pretty quick. I want to quick relative. This one probably is going to take anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes to do. And then these guys are going to take more than 20 minutes to do. But you don't have to babysit the machine. You can just let the machine go. I haven't had this guy put a hole in anything yet, so you're fine. And you don't have to babysit it. But if you wanted to do like a bigger hatch fill, like this guy, you could have that done in a matter of minutes. It just kind of depends on what kind of style you're wanting to go with. This is a great thing to experiment with because these are only, you can get them relatively cheap. And so you're not investing a lot of money into this. It's not like they're really expensive. So keep that in mind when if you want to try this project. It's a fairly inexpensive product you're playing with. So let's go show you some of the supplies you need. Alright, so I've been using this Silhouette Curio big base. This is the 8.5 by 12 base. This is an additional purchase. I'm not sure how much they are on Amazon right now. It's nice to have, especially if you want to do paper and things like that, because this is a full-size sheet of paper. It's not necessary for this. This is the standard base that comes with the machine, and if you wanted just to etch like the top of them, it'll fit, and you can etch and just tape it into place. So this isn't necessary. This isn't necessary, but it is nice to have. If the Curio is something you want to play with often, I would definitely recommend it. This is the standard Chromos etching tip. You can find them on Amazon. This is the precision tip if you want to try it. It is on Amazon, and the precision tip is also available at Chameleon as well. You're going to need some double sticky tape to tape your folders closed. You're also going to need some painter's tape or regular tape as added insurance, and you're going to need a design that you want to etch. I've got in the description below, I've got links to everything and all the supplies that you're going to need. Alright, to set up your folder, all you're going to need to do is open it up and take your double sticky tape and then stick it inside. And basically all you're trying to do is to keep them from rubbing together, because if not, the machine will slip and it won't line back up. And I try to avoid taping where my design will be so that the etching doesn't accidentally pick up your piece of tape underneath. Alright, so leave that space open and then just fold it down. And then I take the base. Your folder's a little bit big. And then, so you have your line at the top. I just try to line it up the best with that. And then I've just been letting it sit on top of these little clips. And then I take the painter's tape and tape down my folder. This, honestly, may not be 100% necessary as much as it is good insurance. Because if your folder moves, your folder's done. You're never going to get it lined back up, so insurance. So let's go put it up on the Cameo, or on the Curio. Let me go show you how you would set it up, and then we'll go send it through the machine. Alright, so we are in Silhouette Studio. I've got it open, and my Curio mat is already plugged, has already been pulled up. Now, if you are using the Cameo and are going back over to the Curio, unplug all your other machines and then plug your Curio in and turn it on. It'll pull up, what'll actually pull up is the little mat. It'll pull up this mat by default. So you would need to come over here, I'm in page setup, and then come down here to the cut mat, and then this is the bigger mat. Sometimes you need to change this as well, because it doesn't always realize that it's been made bigger. So it'd be 8.5 and 12. And then I've done file and merge and brought in the designs that I wanted. This is the school subjects. It's $3 for all of them on the web page. And so I group all of them and right click and hit ungroup. And then what that's going to do is it'll move all the little pieces apart. So if you want to, it gives you all these little pieces. You can make something huge if you want to, or you can just do the little, group them back together and keep them together that way. And just etch them that way if you want to. It kind of depends on what you want to do. So why don't we do, what haven't I done? Why don't we do art, because it's short. So squish all these other guys out the way. We're going to do art, and you're going to want to group it, because that way when we go and put the etching lines in there, it's all, it'll do it all together. If not, it'll try to do it like you have to do each one independently. So I try to come down You don't want to be right at the top of your folder, and you don't want to be really close to either side, because you run the risk of the folder moving. So somewhere in the middle. If you want these to be absolutely the exact same each time, you need to make sure that you like mark out if you want it at 3.5 each time. That way you can do it with them all the exact same placement. So we're gonna go over here to the, I call it the fat star, and we're gonna deboss, and then why don't we, these are your fills. And so what happens is it puts these little lines in, and that's where the machine's gonna make its lines. The closer together that they go, the more detail it will get. And when it does this, it means it can't do it. It means we would need to put the lines farther together, and then it can etch it. And you can do, that's the hatch fill where it does lines back and forth. You can also put them on an angle. So if you want them to be sideways, you could. And if you wanted to do like a wider fill, you could do something and have them on the angle. This is the semicircle I was talking about, and it makes a circle out from the middle. And then this one makes circles in each one. And so, see, it makes everything a circle. Why don't we actually do that one? I haven't done this yet, so I have no idea what it's gonna do. It may not be the wisest thing for a YouTube channel, but. So we're gonna do that one and see what happens. We don't need an angle. But, so the machine is going to go over each one of these lines. More lines, more time. Less lines, less time. So keep that in mind. So we're gonna go over here to the send panel. And then because this is an SVG that has been brought in, you're gonna have to click Etch. And it's gonna take it a minute. So I already have metal etching sheets selected as my material. If you didn't, you would need to go find it. And then down here where it says, why are you doing that? So for reasons that remain a mystery to me, the metal etching sheets are not giving me the option to etch. It's just giving me sketch. Oh, all right. So when I came over here, originally etching was already up here because I had been doing this. But what's happened is the Cameo has been selected as my default machine down here, and the Cameo can't etch. And so that's why it's not giving me the option to etch anymore. It's just telling me I have to sketch. So come down here to this little guy, and then you're going to click on this one. You're going to right click on that one, and we're going to set as default cutter. It is currently syncing because there are no bases in it, and I just turned it on. If I put my bases in, it'll quit the syncing stuff. So we're going to X out of this guy. Now this should give me the ability to etch again. So make sure your design is selected, and then you hit etch, and that'll put all your little bitty lines in here. We can, right now what I'm saying is a speed of 3 and a force of 10. You can increase the force, but normally what it does more than make your design darker is it just makes it indented more. That's the look you're going for. There you go. But with the standard etching tip, it seems not to at least tear it with more force. And then a speed of 3. If you want to experiment with a faster speed, go for it. When I first started, I was having a hard time with higher speed tearing the folders, so that's why I'm a little hesitant to do it at a quicker speed. So so that's why we're doing a speed of 3. And let me go show you how the bases are set up real quick, and then we'll go put them in the machine. All right, since I've already got the folder attached to my other one, we'll just do it on the little base. But the way the Curio works is you have to put platforms in here because it wants to cut things that are roughly 5 millimeters tall. And so since the folders aren't really that tall, what I did is I used a 2 and a 2 and then the regular cutting mat. So all you do is you line them all up with your clips. pop them on there. And then if you wanted to do this guy, same thing, you would just tape your folder on. So let's go throw it to the machine. All right, so the thing to keep in mind with a big base is that it's really big, and it's got to have room to go all the way through the Cameo, or all the way through the Curio, and then all the way back out. So make sure you've got room on the other side, but it loads just like the regular base. And then we'll turn him blinking light because it's on, but there's no base in it. This is the load bases button, and this is the pause button. And so what we'll do is we will hit the load bases button. We'll load through. Something else to keep in mind, move you closer. Something else to keep in mind is where this guy is and where your folder is, because if it catches, it runs the risk of throwing your design off. So as good measure, you might want to tape down that little corner or hold it down when the machine first gets to move. Mine's not going to be a problem, but keep that in mind. You don't want it catching when it first starts. And we're going to go hit the hit the start button. So the cool thing about the Curio is you can hit the pause button and the unload bases button and pop it out to see what it looks like. So that's the start of our glue bottle. That's the start of our A. You also periodically want to make sure that the tip is clean. So I just pause it and kind of run my finger under there. That way your tip is actually etching. So we're going to push this guy back in here. Hit the load bases button again. And I'll go back to reset. This guy's saying it's going to take about 15 minutes. It's probably take a little bit longer since I just popped. Alrighty, so I just took it out. I just took the base out of the Curio, and that's what she looks like. And now all I gotta do is take it off the mat. Alright, so you can see where it made its concentric circles inside itself. And that's how it turned out. You can rub it, and then obviously you would open it up and take your tape out. But it just popped right out. And in case anybody's wondering, it doesn't seem to make the folders like weak. You know, they're not likely to tear, even though you're kind of scratching the front. So, camera does not like the etching. It's having a hard time focusing on it. So anyway, I hope you liked. It's something kind of cool, a little bit different to do. I think it'd be a cool teacher present too, if you want to do their name or something like that. Or you could do a child's name on these folders, or band, or music, or anything pretty much. Or you could also cut these out and make like tags with them, because they would hold up fairly well, and it's not going to come off like a sticker would. So anyway, I hope you liked our little video. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and I'll be back with another video soon. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments.